Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And as you can see, my leaf blower guy just started immediately when I started talking. It's like
Our friend is in town. Let me just say, our friend is in town.
I'm telling you, can you hear him? Okay, guys,
Not to
listen.
worry.
We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. So we want to welcome everybody who is listening live and are listening on the replay. And for those of you who've taken the time out, your busy day to spend time with us, we know we're going to bring value. Without further delay, I want to introduce to some, present to others, Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
As we continue this conversation this month, we are just talking about finding your passion. And we talked about it in health. We talked about community service last week.
Mhm.
And we started off talking about, other things that you do in life and how you really find it. So that's what we're doing. So this week, we're covering finding it in relationships.
Mhm.
Finding your passion in relationships because it's found when you're doing. That's the key takeaway here. It's found when you're doing. When somebody said to me, I have no passion, I don't know what to do, it's because they're not doing a variety of things to find out how that is.
Mm.
Some people have to investigate. Some people find a passion through situations in relationships. So that's what we're covering today. And just by watching something. So it is there, it's inside of you. Whatever you're supposed to do is there.
Mm.
Sometimes you have to unearth it because it is buried so deep for whatever reason. Because when we are younger, we all want to do something. Some people it's just digging up worms. And I remember meeting this lady through networking, and she said, I always love to dig worms. And my family, my mom, my dad, my siblings used to say, this girl is nasty. What is it with you and the worms? And as she became a teenager, they lived close to the water, and she would want to dig worms, but she don't want nobody to see her digging worms. And she couldn't explain it. She went to university, she's got a degree, she went the science route, she was heading toward to be a doctor. And she says in university, she recognized she didn't want to be a doctor. This worm thing had feel like it went away, but it was just surfacing there. And I'm going to tell you guys, she sells worms for a living. Okay. That's what she does. She sells worms for a living.
Wow, maybe I gave up too soon. I loved digging up worms. I
She,
was I was about 8, and my girlfriend and I, her backyard was just full of worms. Her father fished. He had a motorboat, and we would go skiing, and so
Mhm.
we'd be down by the river a lot. But there was something about watching them in the jars and
Yes,
casting.
that's exactly what she was saying. If she just fascinated about them. And
Yes,
she built a big $1 million business from worms.
I gave up too soon.
She was the supplier. She was one of the speakers at the network meetup I was at. And she was talking about it and talking about how, truly not allowing people to tell you what your passion is, what your dream is, what it's about. She says, I can talk about worms for a full day and not be bored. And you would learn so much things about worms, you'll be shocked. Because over time she starts studying worms. You're not only digging it up, not only selling it, and that's your passion. You talk about it at a drop of a hat. It's not boring to you. You always got something new to find within that area, and that's what I find with my money and mindset. I mean, new or old people I'm talking to, I'm always excited. Business, it just energizes me. So I know that's what I'm supposed to do. A long time ago, even though I had bumps where I got out of it, got myself a job, upset that I wasn't doing it, get back into it. Business is what I did. That's me. So I'm not going anywhere. That's me. No matter whatever I'm doing that is taking longer than I'd like it to take, it's okay because that thing wasn't to be birthed at that time and other things needed to come before that specific thing. That's why I mightn't have birthed the thing that I wanted to, but it's still business. So without any further ado, one of the things we want to look at, are you going to create a relationship with friends or family? And if you're not, before I used to say if you're not, it's okay. But also a gentleman I met who talks and he teaches this to a lot of celebrities. He will name names, but he teaches the people who is hard for relationships. He said you need to find a subject that you love and go into it learning all about it. So when you get and when you reach in conversation, you meet people, you can talk to them about it. Little tiny things and allow that to grow and build relationships. So all of us, not everybody's easy to form relationships, but if you take it on as something that you need to do because it's good for you health wise, forget everything as we talk in business, but just for health wise, it's good to have conversation with people. You don't want to only be on your own talking. And trust me, I talk to myself a lot. I enjoy it, but I do like people.
So his suggestion is that we find a conversation that we love and the people will come. Is that his philosophy?
Yeah, like he's saying is if you're not a conversationist, if you're a person who do not like to
Chit chat.
really converse, as you're not a chit chatter, you don't have to go intensely, but you need to find a couple of subjects that you can talk about without having to reading it off or look it up. It's just easy, slips off your tongue. So it don't have to be a lot, but one to three. Just find those, and those are yours. And wherever you go, those are the ones you're spilling. He says over time, you'll be surprised how you build up your library and resources and talk about more things. But just start off with 1 to 3 things and easy to have conversation. And those people that you're having it with helps you build that relationship and then for the relationship. Because I've got friends of friends of friends. That is not my direct friendships. But we end up being good friends because while she was my friend, we end up at different functions together at different times. And they like what I got to say. I like what they have to say. And so every time we meet, it's like, oh my God, Caren. And we would just get into conversation. Now, I feel like a few people that I'm friends with, true friends, they wouldn't be my necessarily first choice of friendships. Nothing's wrong with them. It's just the people that I'm not gravitated to. But over time, we built relationships and we've been on vacations together. And over time we just get into each other because we could talk about so many different little area pockets of things. Now they're not business people, so we rarely talk anything about business, but we still we find common ground and we talk about food or different things. So
okay,
that's a good way of building relationships.
So building relationships through conversations. Okay.
Yeah, a conversation to me, people really miss the concept of it. I'm building out a book called The Conversational Seller because when you start really getting the grasp of conversation, you realize you don't have to lie, you don't have to expand, you don't have to build on top of it. It's just what you know that you're talking about. So you never have to worry about going back and remembering because you're not lying. You're like, I learned to make some pillows and this was my teacher. And if the person in the group is a sewer and they're not even directly involved with you, the minute they hear sewing and they're sore, they come over and say, oh my gosh, what kind of machine you have? And there's the conversation. Or if food, like I talk a lot about food, we'll get into those conversations. Maybe the person is married and you're talking about something, not beating up your husband necessarily, but you're just talking about a situation and they get in there. And you don't want to get a toxic talking nonsense, but you want to talk with somebody who can have that, church, anything like that. You just want to get in there and have that conversation and build that relationship. And sometimes, God always take the person you don't expect to help you pull out the other stuff inside of you. So if you're searching for your passion, you might hear something that not make it happen right away, but start a little bit of pattern, start ticking in your head.
Because once you find someone who's enjoying the conversation, they'll probably be like-minded. Is that?
Yes. And that's why that makes it easy. That really.
And I think this is what led to the success of that app that used to be called Meetup. I don't know.
Yes.
And, it's sort of, you haven't heard a lot about it because of the recent, situation with people, gathering. But it was all centered around topics.
Yes.
People meeting up because they
Yes.
were interested in the same
Yes.
subject matter.
Exactly, because I went to a lot of those. I also helped host a few here, so and I enjoyed it. And I went to different kinds. They have Pacific marketing kind, this kind. I used to go to a guy owned that. I thought he was the most brilliant meetup group. Sam, like I could see him now. I think he was from Ukraine or somewhere, but his group was just on fire. And from the shyest people, the introverts, the people who do not like small talk, he really did a good job with them, if nobody else. I'm an extrovert, so for me it wasn't a big deal. But he used to have these small groups, and then he himself would come in and be in the group and help start a conversation that he sees not going anywhere. And that was what he was really good at. So we'd meet at coffee shops. He had nights you meet. It was five. His own, even though they had a lot of free, his own was paid, and I think it was worth the $5 and $10. I went in the $5 and $10 group, and we just talk about books that you read in, how to grow your business. We talk about what's happening in the family. If you're going often enough, your name goes down on the book. You get a chance to just come up and talk about your business for 5-10 minutes. And when he's featuring you, he's just going all in, giving you all the information, how to market it, who to talk to, who he's known, name and number. He was very much involved in this meetup. He was the epitome of helping people who don't know how to start a conversation get going, right? He would give you a glass and pass a glass of water, pass it around. You got to say something for 2 minutes with a glass of water. All kind of different things he would do. He was really good. The pandemic, I missed him. He started back up, but I haven't gone out yet. But he's really, 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 really good. And, a lot of good friendships I had formed in there, especially in my cleaning company days. When I starting out, I formed really good friendships in there. All right. So, do you share special moments with your siblings? This is another way of building out your relationship. If you have a sibling who you and them get along really well, you can really ask them, and it's not limited to them, but they're your first people or your cousins. Like, what do they see you? And if you can't remember, ask them what you were like as a child. They are willing to tell you things that you can't even think about or remember. They'll help you. They'll pull it out of you. You're like, when? How? I got a cousin and she called me. She's loud as crazy. But anytime she called me and we start talking, I'm like, Donna, you can do X, Y, and Z. How come you're doing this? And she's like, what? I can't remember that. And like we get into detail. Because I remember when she wanted to give up her salon, like she's a hairdresser. She's been there for years. And she said the standing she can't do anymore. And her hands were getting swollen. And I said, Donna, don't close the salon. Are you renting out chairs at the moment? She's like, yeah, 2. I'm like, get the rest filled up. Don't you go in, you look after the front desk and then eventually train somebody, but don't give up the salon. Because she was she didn't tell me, but another cousin had told me that she was doing really well. I said, just get in there 2 to 3 days a week. Make sure people are seeing you. Make sure you're talking with the customer, because she is an extrovert. And that helped the salon to keep growing while she stopped doing hair, so sometimes you need somebody to help you see.
Yes, and then she's able to maintain and build a relationship between her stylist and her customers that she's transferring over.
Yes. Because I said to her, the main thing is most people might want to go because they're not introduced to your other stylists. So your job is to exactly just say, make sure you're in there saying, hey, Adrienne is going to be doing your hair from the next 2 weeks when you return. I want you to introduce you to her. She's such a sweet girl. You guys should be talking right now because she's the one you want to make the appointment with. And I bet you before the person leave, they will. Because they're going to observe how Adrienne is behaving with the client that she has right now. And they're making their decision. And once you hire good people or rent your chair to good people are going to still come. People are going to still come once there's good people looking after you.
Yes.
When I used to go to the salon a lot, I had my good friend that did my hair, but when she wasn't available, they had a girl used to be the shampoo girl. She didn't do anybody's hair, just shampoo all the clients' hair. And one day she asked me if I mind if she blow dry my hair. So I said to her, are you a hairdresser? She's like, yeah. I'm like, so why are you not doing hair? She says, I'm not licensed yet. I said, what are you waiting on? She goes, I'm afraid. I said, I come here every 2 weeks. What are you studying? Show me. I'll help you study. Like, you got to get your license. You got to be more than a shampoo girl. Like, what are we doing here? Because she was really nice, bubbly personality and what have you. And I went to the guy who owned the place because him and I used to talk, the Italian guy. I'm like, you need to get this girl a chance, to do more than washing hair. She blow dry my hair. She did a really good job. Janet now is going to style it, but she's really good. He's like, yeah, but she doesn't. She's not a hairdresser. I just drag her over. I'm like, tell him why you're not a hairdresser. She hasn't written the provincial licensing for hairdressers. That's it. But she went to school. She knows what to do.
Mm-hmm.
She's just afraid. He's like, what? And between him, Janet, and I, within that year, she was licensed hairdresser and doing people hair.
Beautiful.
That was her passion. She's just afraid.
And all of that happened through a conversation. All of that happened as the result of a conversation.
Yes. Do not put away a conversation. Do not think that. That's what when I hear people say, if somebody was in my DM, if they're being rude, I understand. Like people has asked me for an appointment to just get to know me and then try to sell me. Those people, I put them in the place immediately because I said to them, if you wanted to sell me something, we could have talked about that. But the false pretense of wanting to talk with me to sell me on your package is just wrong. Don't do it. You're going to lose people. People are not going to be your friends on Facebook anymore. I'm telling you this the best possible way I can. DMs are not bad. It's just if you abuse it, you go in and you say, hi, how are you doing? What are you offering? You have the conversation with the person, but you don't book their time and then try to sell them on their 30 minutes booking. You just don't do that. You really want to have a conversation with people. And building your passion through relationships is, are you making it? You make exciting memories. You make memories with your children, with your spouse, with your sibling. But there's something about people that is not related to you that you can really build good, exciting memories with. That always land yourself. If you're in business, let me tell you, whether a business or a job, I have gotten some long-lasting friends from college, workplace. I know people say people at work is not your friend, but I had a lot of really good friends at work. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend it was that way for me. And I'm not saying it wasn't that way for people, but for me, when I came to Canada, I came to my dad and stepmom and people who didn't like me. I parked that. I am not complaining about that. Let me tell you guys, they didn't like me and I accepted. Okay, moving along. So when I went to work, I developed friendships, and I understand everybody's not extrovert like I am, but I developed friendship with people that I work with, genuine friendships. Why? Because I was straight to the point. I was talking to people, not complaining, just saying, hey, I'm alone here. I don't do things. I'm new. I don't know. And everybody want to show me, invite me, and make me feel welcome to their country, which help us build relationships. And we'd stayed for a long time, but a lot of people move away. Some people have died, and I've went to their funerals. Family have celebration. They've invited me, so I had been able to build really great relationships within my workplace. I was telling my mom a couple of years ago, I was standing at a bus stop, and I hear this person screaming for me. I'm gonna say it right now. This white guy, we went to work together. And next, I was like, who's calling me? I got picked up and I was like, Bill, you just picked me up and spin me around. It's like, I can't believe I haven't seen you in a long time. But that was the kind of relationship we had and built ourselves. It didn't matter how long we haven't seen each other. When we see each other, greeting that happened, we were excited. We caught up on what's been going on. Why I'm not seeing you anymore. He left Toronto. He's moved, but he came back for something. That's why he was there today. So he was excited that I saw him, and he saw me.
That is so real, though. When you have real friendships, it doesn't matter how long it's been. It's like it was just yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah. I built relationships in that job. I tell people I was a dishwasher there. I built so many great relationships at that job, right? I found out that not only I could sell my product from where I came from and people who don't know me will buy, that job really opened my eyes to know that when you genuinely love people and want to serve them, it didn't matter where you come from, people can feel it and just open up to you. People can really see when you're genuine, because the majority of people I work with there is Canadians. they know the heck about what I'm telling them about. But
Mm-hmm.
over time, building the relationship, they would buy from me, and they become my permanent, for those 4 years, customers. 3 years, because for the first year was mainly me introducing the idea to them, but 3 years they were my customers every weekend, and first of the week I bring my goods and they buy.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's not hard. It just feels hard when you're starting out. That's what I want to say. When you decide that you're going to build a relationship, for the people who it's not easy to do, so I want to know that I understand not everybody it's easy to do. So the people who are starting this and it's not easy to do, little baby tiny steps, nothing big,
Okay.
baby steps, 2 or 3 people, even one person at a time, to get your juices flowing. And also, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. I have to call this person all the time. I have to text them. I have to. No, when you build really good friendships, nobody expect you to not live your life. They understand that they mightn't hear from you for months, but when you build a good relationship with people, when you see them again, they want to see you. When you give them a call, they're happy to hear from you. In our circle, I remember when one of our friends died, and I called up a few of them to let them know. Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" Call one person. She had somebody number. Give me somebody else's number, and she's, "Thank you for calling me, because otherwise I wouldn't have known." And we talk a few times here and there. We still don't talk a lot, but it's just making sure the people that was closest to us while we work, we reach out to and we talk to, we build relationships to, and they ask you, "So what are you doing now, Caren?" And I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay, I'm keeping your number because I think I know somebody who can use what you're doing. This is the other thing.
The other thing is, how can I support you? People begin to ask you that.
Mhm, mhm,
So yes, and all of that through work. What do you call it? Work and personal relationships help support your passion.
mhm.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay. Yeah.
Finding the support for your passion through relationships.
Relationships, because it comes, and when those people give you, I mean, some people call me and ask me up for jobs, for people they know that's looking for work.
Hmm.
People call me up and ask if I'm hiring. They ask me, if they might not want what I have, but do I know somebody who offer this specific service? Because once you're in the business arena, people start thinking, hey, she might know more things than I do.
Hmm.
And I'd rather get a reference. My tax guy at the time was doing a lot of not good stuff. And one of my same people in the crowd I was talking about, and she's like, "I'm going to send you my tax guy. He's good." And I mean, I'm going to give him your information. I'm going to give you his.
Hmm.
And our relationship, my daughter, is going to be 29 in October. And I've got that tax guy for 28 years.
Wow. Hmm.
That's how long ago she'd given me that information. So you get good information from people once you build that great relationship. They're looking out for you. They're not going to send you crazy people. They're going to send you people who make sense. When I opened my
Yes.
daycare, the same thing. One of the ladies, I said, "I'm opening a daycare." She's like, "I got 2 clients for you." "I got 2 clients for you, Karen. They are in desperate need, and you are the best person for their kids to be at." 2 clients. We opened the daycare. We opened that daycare with 5 clients immediately. And in the space of a month, we were filled with a waiting list.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, best relationship built. When I hear people say, "I don't want to talk to people at work," or we were in an apartment at the time, by the way. I don't even know my neighbors. You bet you I talk to my neighbors. I talk when I come out to my apartment building. I say, "Morning, how you doing?" There's no, I'm not going in their apartment. "How you doing?" We had Price Chopper over there, or IGA. I was like, "You know what's on sale at IGA?" We talk about what's happening in the supermarket. I get in the supermarket. I talk to all the cashiers. I talk to people in the supermarket. People come up to me and ask me what I'm buying, how I can cook it. I tell them how I can cook it.
Mhm. This conversation,
Everybody knew Petra's mom.
but conversations, I think there's a term we can relate to, icebreakers.
Mhm.
Conversations are just icebreakers
Yes, you are
that
right.
allow you to get to know people
Mhm.
and to find out what their needs are.
Yeah, and people are simple.
Mm-hmm.
People really want you to talk to them. I don't care how you don't like to talk to people. If you are, or they don't want people to talk to them, that's what I find. A lot of introverts. I have a lot of friends who are introverts. I figure out later in life that most of my friendship end up with people who don't necessarily chat. But
No, Jill says people know, like, and trust you.
yeah,
Good morning, Jill.
really.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
And I just end up with people who is not really chatterbox.
Hmm.
We end up talking. We end up, getting in there. I was at the grocery store, but I was off on maternity leave with Pierce, my
Hmm.
last son. Me and the cashier, we would just talk. When I get in there, we'd talk about anything and everything along the line. She said to me, "So when is the daycare getting open?" Again, I got clients from the supermarket.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We didn't spend a dime on any ads.
Hmm.
Everybody that came to us is because we either walked, talked, was me the partner, and just have conversation with people.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, we talk to people at the park. People tell people, and then the list begun because we were at capacity, and everybody's like, Can I get on the waiting list?" That's how the waiting list started. Like people came to us and said, "Can we get on the waiting list? Because we hear you're full." And we end up opening an after school program to eventually, because I have kids who come in the daycare and parents couldn't
Pick them up on
pick them
time.
up in their half day. So we end up with that. We had kids on a bus route, and we had another daycare who needed a service. And I said to my friend, I said, "Listen, let's approach them. So if we can make it a day, they can pick up our kids. And if they can't make it, we can pick up their kids." And
Oh,
we find this
collaborate.
a lot. We did this alliance with them. And thank God, because my friend lost her grandma and she had to go away. And we had this community of people. And then when those ladies had whatever going on, they had a community of us. And we had hire a couple of little kids who, not little kids, but teenagers who can help out in the afternoon as part-timers
To fill the
with
gap.
us.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you build those relationship in place, when you build the relationships, it's one of the key things in your business, by the way. One of
Beautiful.
the key things in the business, even though I'm talking about it in the terms of finding your passion,
Hmm.
once you find out what that is, once you nail that down, continue to build real great relationships. Be good to the people who you reach out to. Don't only want them for their dollars. That's why most of my clients really become friendships.
Yeah,
People who just come and talk to me
exactly.
because I'm really genuinely invested in the people who have invested in me. You know,
Hmm.
people have invested in me. That's why I could work from home. I've been telling people I've been working from home for over 40 years. It's not a lot of people can say that. And successfully paying all my bills, eating, vacationing, and doing all the things I do because I'm genuinely interested in the people I serve. I want to see them do well. I want to see them go forward. Even when I wasn't in a coaching capacity, it didn't matter if you're buying food from me, I'm still interested in you and what you're doing and how I'm serving you and how I can serve you more than just me. Because if somebody else can give service to you in a different way, I want to recommend them to you because I want you to have
Hmm.
a really good full life. It's not just about me.
Exactly. Guys, I just want you to know that Coach Karen can be found everywhere on the net under Profits in Daily. So if you're looking for Coach Karen, you want to look under Profits in Daily and connect with her. She's got some great courses coming up. She's extremely experienced in the world of business. And I'm going to put the title up here, Profits in Daily with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. We highly recommend her. She is a money mindset coach because a lot of times we have not really uh, changed our mind about how we handle our finances, and we don't know how to make the shift because we've always done it that way. So we need to get some new information if we're going to renew our mind. So, with that, I want to remind you that Coach Karen is available for consultation, and you can find her on her Facebook page under Profits and Daily or her Instagram. And we Love Coach. So
Thank you.
she's run several, many successful. I was going to say several, but many successful businesses. She's been in the fashion industry. She's been in the industrial cleaning industry. She's run a child care. These are just the things that I know about. She's run a food business, a food service business. You can, there is something in this deep well that will help you run a profitable business that's fun to run. So, Coach, we want to thank you for your time. Is anyone anything you want to say before we wrap up?
I know today was good. We're just continuing all this one talking about finding your passion. I'm just giving you different areas that you might not think of looking into to do so. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We're just finding your passion. We're gonna have a big program coming out in August, so it's not right away, but that's where my focus is right now, on just building that out. And that is actually that's passion. Um, Profits, passion and profits prosper. This is what we're talking about. We want you to find your passion. We want to work in your purpose, and I want it to be profitable, period. I don't do anything that's not profitable in my business.
There you go. There you go. So, guys, we want to thank you. Want to thank you, Coach, for your time. And I hope you guys had your pencils and pens out because these simple things are the things that will grow your business.
Hmm.
Now, we want to remind you that if you're looking to be a part of the BizChicks community, you can simply text Biz to 33777. We'd love for you to be a part. That will take you to Heartbeat, and Heartbeat is where we have nested our community. In there, you will find the opportunity to come to different trainings. We try to do a training every Thursday, and you'll get an invitation to that because you'll be part of the community. And we just want to thank you for allowing us to help you run that profitable business. And if you're looking for BizChicks, you can also find us at bizchicks.net. What do you do? We help you with your tech. We help you to do your marketing. Just call us and we will customize your program for you because every business is unique. So with
Hmm.
that, remember to go to the
In
front of
front of
your.
your own line.
Bye bye, everyone. Have a great day.